Hey, this is Lacey. I am going to review some top Zenoti alternatives. Now, this particular platform is really great for large scale businesses. You can see they have a lot of things to offer, particularly an AI phone function to fulfill front desk phone call fielding, business management, and a lot of mobile solutions and deep marketing and sales data. So this makes it a great option for big businesses that operate across multiple locations or even multiple countries and need several languages, something that not a lot of software provides. However, it is pretty expensive and designed to support large-scale operations for med spas, salons, and health centers. So if you need something that's a bit smaller or something that has a front-facing platform to engage better customer relations, there are some alternatives that you can look at. I am going to compare a few great alternatives, including Boulevard, Mangomint, Mindbody, Vagaro, and Acuity, and compare them side by side so that you can see which one might be best for your alternative. Now, up front, my favorite alternative for general use, no matter your business, is going to be Mangomint. I'll go over so many reasons why, but this particular platform is really easy to use, has the best interface I've ever seen, and it does away with a lot of the superfluous aspects that Zenoti has. So it makes it a much better fit for small and medium-sized businesses. If, however, you are searching for a front desk option, something that not only helps fulfill things like calendars and booking, but allows you a marketplace where you can better promote your business, I'm going to say that Mindbody is great because something I'll touch on a little bit later is that they have this front-facing option where you can promote your business as well as daily deals or online videos and help cultivate more exposure. So this can be great for companies that offer classes and memberships in particular. So I'm going to go over some of my main pain points with Zenoti and how these alternatives can help. So first of all, Zenoti is expensive. It is about $400 per month, depending on what solution you have. And not all of the features you get are going to be available in every country. So there could be some limitations. If you only have a few employees or you are an independent stylist, that's going to be so much money. So what alternatives do you have here? First of all, I'm going to look at Mangomint. So one of the things I like right now, as you can see here, this is my subscription. But every free trial that you do will automatically populate with information here so that you can try how you see fit without needing all of your information already in there. So that's something that you don't get with, let's say, Vagaro, which does offer a free trial, but it doesn't auto-populate any information. So you have to play around with zero data here. You can see there are no appointments. There's nothing I can play with when I go to the calendar or when I go to customers. In terms of total price, though, Mangomint does not have a small price point for independent stylists. They start at $165 per month and it goes up to about $375. But they do have basic calendar and booking functions, as well as the sales functions that you see here for the basic level all the way up through the most expensive level. If you have a med spa and you need things like a virtual waiting room or HIPAA compliance, you will have to pay more. Acuity, though, is by far the cheapest when it comes to flexible software. They let you book appointments and manage customer base with very simple scheduling options, with only $16 per month for those who are beginners. Let's say an independent stylist who doesn't need to manage multiple locations. Now, Vagaro has several pricing plans, and they are pretty affordable. So their plans start at $30 per month, and that is for a single employee. As you add employees and you start building out your website and adding additional people, every employee is going to cost another $10. So if I were to try and add an employee right now, you'll see that before I'm able to add them, it's going to ask me to confirm that I'm willing to accept that extra charge. Okay, so it's going to make me do all these fun things, but my goodness. Let's see here. So he's going to be a service provider, manager. Okay, so you'll notice that it does tell you that any businesses that have fewer than 7 licenses have to pay $10 per month for every provider and every location. So that's something to consider if you are scaling. It's still pretty affordable though, and it caps out at $90. But the catch is that even once you max out that $90 per month phase, anything else that you want to add, which isn't included in the base fee, will come at a monthly fee. Things like text message or auto emails for birthdays and promotions might come at an additional cost per text or per email. And that's something that you'll need to consider. Now, Boulevard only has a couple of options, and their price point is between $250 and $425. However, this is an all-inclusive price. You get everything. You get so many more services than you would get with Acuity, which is essentially just a booking and payment processing software. You get more support than you would get with Mindbody. You get a much better plan for marketing and building client relationships than you do with Vagaro, and you get a much easier interface than you get with Zenoti. And that's something I really like. Now, Mindbody has basic subscriptions starting at $99 per month per location. But if you want to add things like dynamic pricing, or you want to add API calls or new client commissions, it's going to add extra fees. So obviously cheapest goes to Acuity, but cheapest also means the fewest services and features. So if you want everything though, and you don't want to deal with additional charges every month, I would go with Boulevard. Now, user interface is another pain point. When I briefly worked with Zenoti, honestly, it felt like a time machine. So you can see how their software works when you go to their training videos. This is their training video right now. And this is for booking a new appointment. You have drop-down menus when you right-click on an opening to book an appointment that look just like a 1998 Windows operating system. Even here, if I want to get help and change things, you can see over here on the right, it's very blocky, very chunky. Everything looks clunky and uncomfortable, and it almost has the same feel as Minesweeper. So I really don't like how everything is structured here. Very overwhelming, very unfriendly. So to that end, my favorite alternatives for the interface are Mangomint, which has a very similar layout to Boulevard and Vagaro, which also make my top list. As you can see here, this is very intuitive. I love the fact that the backdrop here is black, and then you have this light gray lettering. It really draws the eye. You don't have a lot of color, right? So here you can see, oh, tiny little color here, tiny little star color. But the most important buttons, new appointment, for example, great color. Messages, great color. These are the things that you need to really interact. Vagaro has a similar setup when it comes to the top, but the layout is slightly different and it feels a little more cartoonish to me, sort of with bubbly letters, something that you might see in an early aughts computer training program. And then of course, Mangomint is great in terms of their layout, the way they have everything structured, but they do make more use of color, and that may or may not be something that you enjoy. So it's really a toss-up between those, but if the clunky interface that you get with Zenoti is not something you want, I would stick with one of these three. Absolutely. Another issue for me was reports. So as I said, Zenoti is a great platform for large-scale operations. Any company that is looking to continually expand across multiple locations and perhaps multiple countries is going to have a platform that provides great solutions for report generation. Now, those reports are very complicated to generate and to review. There's a lot of information that you get in these reports, and that's perfectly fine if you have a large business. But those reports look very clunky, just like the rest of their interface. So if you are a smaller business and you don't want that much data, then I would definitely pick Acuity or Mindbody. So Acuity is simple, right? It gives you all of the scheduling tools you need with very easy online booking and payments and quick, simple report generation. I really like the way that Mindbody also provides reports for internal use. So their resources give you professional services and a lot of information on how your business is working, particularly for things like sales, availability of staff members, and classes. So that's something that you need to consider depending on the type of business you have. As mentioned, they have this front-facing platform where when you sign up with Mindbody, you can advertise your company to potential customers who are searching for a studio or a salon in their area. And with that, you can take advantage of things like last-minute offers. You can put deals here. You can also add classes, discounts for booking multiple packages at the same time, and virtual options. So that information can be tracked with the reporting that you get through Mindbody. And I really like that if checking things like how efficacious your classes are during the week versus during the weekends, or tracking whether offering discounts for booking 3 hot yoga classes instead of just one is really worth the advertising costs. Now, Boulevard is obviously another top contender here. So when it comes to their reports, easy to find, right? You can click right here. You see everything is right here. You can choose the type of report you want. You can look at an updated report. This one is on referral sources, right? Not a lot here, but if I want to check out how the products are selling, I can generate all of this data and I can filter it. I can customize it by staff member, by type of product, by all of these things here. Time of day, location, whether something was pre-booked or not. You can filter the report to look how you like as well. And that makes it a lot easier. Now, if you just have a few minutes and you want a quick summary, they have that information here too. So that's great because you can break it down by sales, staff, commissions, inventory, all of the simple insights that you need to really run your business effectively. So those are some of my absolute favorites there. Now, when it comes to picking the one that works best for you, as I mentioned, these are all great options. If price is a problem for you and you are an independent stylist, Acuity is going to give you the most basic things, but it's going to come at that most basic affordable price. So that might be something to consider. If you need that front-facing platform where customers can search in a marketplace, and you offer classes, Mindbody or Vagaro are really great options because Vagaro has that same type of front-facing platform. Let's see here. So here you can see that if I'm searching for something as the potential customer, I can find daily deals. I can look at online classes. I can find locations. I can check for a business type. I can check on the type of class or service. So that's very similar to what you would get with Mindbody. But obviously, Vagaro is more geared toward health, spas, med spas, and salons, whereas Vagaro doesn't really focus as much on the, not Vagaro, the Mindbody here focuses more on health and fitness. You can see here circuit training, yoga, dance, Pilates, bar. So it doesn't focus as much on stylists or salons or med spas, and it focuses a lot more on fitness-based companies. So that's something to consider as well, given the type of business you have. And then finally, if you are worried about the interface, and that's the thing that's keeping you away from this large platform, my personal pick is Boulevard. I love the color usage. It's very minimal It's unobtrusive, but you know exactly what you're looking for when you're looking for it. I love the layout here. Everything is intuitive. Everything is easy to find. A close second would be Vagaro because it is somewhat similar, but you can see there's a lot more data here. There's a lot more there's numbers, there's letters, there's everything. Whereas this is a very clean interface. So if you have to choose, remember that Mindbody is great for personal trainers, independent yoga instructors, people who need a better way to access classes. But for me, Boulevard is the easiest one to use. And while it might be more expensive than some of these alternatives, it doesn't have any hidden fees. So it really makes it simple when it comes to management, calendar functions, reports, marketing, and everything else you might need.